Welcome back. The restaurant industry has been hard hit by the COVID-19 pandemic. With new regulations and mandates, restaurant dining looks much different now. Tomorrow on Perspectives with Eric Reynolds, we hear from some of the people in the industry on how they're planning for the future. Eric is here with us this morning with a preview. And interestingly enough, Eric, we were showing that Mobtown Proper segment. So I just talked with Panini Pete and his partner, his business partner, Nick. And we had this discussion because I know a lot of people are concerned about their friends in this industry.
So true, because you drive around now and you see places with for lease signs or for sale retail properties and restaurants that we've all dined in, you know, because some of them are nationally connected or regional market type of deals. And it really hurts when you see that, because you know it's not only the business, but the people that work there and what's going on for them. And so it's been a tough time. And I'm sure as Nick and Pete share with you, and we got a chance to talk to them on this program too, because they own more than one restaurant. And so you've got different themes, and how do you adapt that to the new mandates and what you have to do to hopefully have the business. And I think as you and I talked before, we talked about, you know, not every meal is prepared to be set up to go.
Right. And
then depending on where your restaurant is located, are you close enough to home to get back and eat it while it's warm? And so many things that they're facing. And now we get a chance to look from their perspective, as well as Bob Omansky, who is with the Restaurant Association for the state of Alabama. He's the chairman of the board. So he gives us a perspective, not only local, but what's going on throughout the state. Was one good point that he made. Some of the smaller restaurants in smaller, more rural, small town areas, they're doing pretty good because they're sometimes the only game in town. So it's helped them, but for the larger cities, Birmingham, Mobile, Huntsville, and Montgomery, it's been a tough road for a lot of places that people have been going to for years.
I think what this has really brought to the forefront, and what a lot of people have heard about since this point, is the profit margins for restaurants is so razor thin. So in addition to what's going on right now, they're having to try to figure out ways to adapt to what may be a new future for them.
Very good point, because you talk about the added expense now of, they already were cleaning and sanitizing, but now we're doing a lot more. And so you add that in now to being one of your expenses, and that 5% that Nick and Pete talked about gets whittled down even more. And so when you look at the whole change that's taking place, they gave us a little insight into what they thought may be ahead in the next 6 months to a year for their industry, how they're looking at to adapt to. Do we do curbside? Do we do delivery? Do we have people come inside to pick up their food? And of course, which restaurants of, let's say in their case, of the different restaurants they have, which one works better like this? So they've been doing a lot of experimenting and seeing what works the last 5 months. And man, we can only tip our hat, because these are all small business owners, and not having somebody they can just dial up and say, hey, we need a check deposited. So it's coming out of their pocket. Tough to do advertising now for them, which of course we want them to do more advertising because of what we do. And so we think this is a good program for all of us to see what we need to do to help support our restaurant industry, and especially the favorite ones that we have. Make sure that we do something to help them go through this rough period here.
Yeah, you use that word industry because we're talking about the owners and the chairman of the board and stuff, but the case in point is they own it. There's a bunch of employees who work for them who may be out of jobs right now too, so it really does have a big time ripple effect within our entire community.
It does, because you know how you end up getting involved with some of the waiters and waitresses and learn about their lives. And we have a friend who become a friend through eating at the restaurant, and he was a single dad with 2 little girls. And so when the schools went virtual at home, that affected his decisions about working, the hours, the livelihood. Do I need a babysitter now? Because normally he'd work while they were in school. And so, yeah, it's really a lot to think about. And this whole pandemic is more than just thinking about the direct issues that affect us health-wise, but the other areas that are affected by this, and of course the economy and business. We want both of those to do well.
Well, an important discussion to be had, and important for people to tune in so they can have a better understanding of what these folks are going through and maybe ways in which they can help. When can they watch this episode of Perspectives, Eric?
We'll be here tomorrow morning at 9, right after the morning news with Asha and Matt. And of course, if you miss it tomorrow morning, you can definitely catch us on the Fox 10 YouTube channel and our website, because some very valuable information.
All right, looking forward to it. Eric, thanks so much.
Thank you
Appreciate
very
it.
much.